you look at these little kind of gifts and blessings and you just go, okay, well, maybe the day, like in your life, the day didn't go the way you planned, but the patience and something else transformed, which was more powerful, beautiful, and a much bigger and better experience than you could have hoped for, could have wished for. And it comes back to, you know, good things happen to those who wait. So patience is a good thing. Welcome, I'm Diana Fels, and thanks for joining me. I'm passionate about helping people transform for their own light to shine. I'm super excited to be in Japan, Kyoto, at the Torii Gates. Now this is an amazing place which has 10,000 orange gates everywhere, and I came down here at the crack of dawn in the morning to be here at 6 in the morning, which is normally a quiet place, but not today. There's something about every time I turn up to something which normally is a quiet, perfect time, everybody else decides to do the same thing. There seems to be this radar I have, and even when I turn down and go down a path that no one else goes down, and it's not a path that people want to come down, what happens? Everybody wants to go down it too. So I seem to have this beacon that everyone goes, oh, they see what I'm doing, and then they all gravitate and do what I'm doing. It's like, hang on, go away, go away. This is quiet. There was no one here before. No one was even interested, and now everyone's interested. And I think one of the things that has been teaching me a lot in Japan is a word that keeps coming up over and over and over again is patience, 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 patience. Patience is something that's been coming up quite a bit and something I wanted to talk about. And it also links to the Reiki system as well. When you think of the deeper meanings underlining everything in the old traditional teachings, patience is one of the things that you need as part of this journey. And then when we think on a spiritual level, yeah, patience and timing is none of your business. That comes up all the time. Timing is none of your business. And in today's world, everything's so fast. Technology is fast. You know, every time social media, it's like click, tick and flick. If it's anything a few seconds more, nobody wants to know about or watch it. We've lost that art of being patient and waiting or just doing one thing. And I think that's one of the nice things about Japan. Everybody here is a lot more patient and they're more focused, and it's very much one thing, not multiple things. Sure, everyone's got technology and kind of need it here, and there is a bit of tick and flick, but from other aspects within Japan, everyone takes their time, they appreciate things, they focus on one thing and one person. But yeah, everything has patience and focus and, you know, focusing on one thing and not multiple things. And what's interesting is I had some plans throughout this trip, and I had a couple of days I wanted to go up Murakurama, and I wanted to take some nice photos, and also wanted to do a couple of minute video blog, not too much because I'm not in that space as yet. And what's interesting, no matter how much you plan and no matter how much you know the right times and the places to go that are more suitable for something like that, it never happens the way that you think it's going to happen. It's like today, what normally is quiet, no, there's a zillion people here. You go down a path that nobody's there, and of course everybody wants it, or they see you do it, and then all of a sudden they're tracking down here, but there's nothing to see down that path. But yet, no, they all got to go there because they see you going there. And it's funny, and even when like you get there and there's a moment of some quietness, all of a sudden the words don't come out, and you're kind of like sounding like some, you know, rambling person going, okay, there's something here, but I'm not quite articulating it right. So it's quite interesting what happens sometimes. Like, it's that thing that timing's none of your business. What's happened will when it happened, and some days it'll work and some days it won't. And some days something else is meant to happen. And that's what another teaching of that patience is, not just, you know, waiting, and sometimes it's the right time, sometimes it's not the right time, but there's that old saying that good things happen to those who wait, and that certainly has been the case many times here throughout Japan. And a couple of examples of just only a day or two ago that happened to me was on Mount Karama. I had planned, like it's a 4-hour round trip, like it's 2 hours out, 2 hours back. And try and get there as early as you can, but it takes time, especially if you're having breakfast before you go. And by the time you get up there, of course it was busy, wasn't getting the right spots. You literally got to wait around all day, and I mean literally wait around all day, right to the end of the day when it's getting dark and everybody's leaving and you're it, just to get a couple of photos where you might be by yourself or a few minutes to film. And even then, that still doesn't happen because there'll be somebody else who changes that dynamics, and that's quite interesting. And then you go, okay, well maybe that's a day where it's not going to happen. But what was interesting, yes, I have one of those days where, okay, maybe today is not going to be the day, and maybe, it's just a nice day out that you've seen and been in a beautiful countryside. And you think, well, okay, I'm going home, it's getting dark, this is it. But it turns out, no, it's not it, and maybe that wasn't what was going to happen that day, but something else did occur. And one of them was a lady turned up and she had a conch shell and she was playing that, and she came up to me and then she chatted a few little bits. She didn't have much English at all, and then she put the conch shell around me, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty interesting, and I was allowed to have a photo with it. And then she had a friend and they were trying to chat for just a few little words, and then another couple of people came, and that lady had a carved out kind of like a harp that she'd made, and it was out of cherry wood, and she could just speak a few more words of English, but not much. And I thought they all knew each other, but none of them knew each other. And then they were asking questions about a certain spot, and this other lady knew where it was, and next thing you know, it just happened. It was kind of magical and quite spiritual, and happened within minutes. It was like between meeting all these people who I thought knew each other but didn't know each other, we ended up all going together, and me being invited to go for a walk up the mountains to a very special place. And we did a ceremony with the conch shell, and the lady had these, it's like this sort of rattle that they do, and they chant sutras. And then there was another sutra that they all knew and they chanted as well. And then the other lady who had the harp, she played that, and she had this beautiful song and voice that she sung as well. And there was a ceremony for the water as well, where another lady had some water, and she did a ceremony for that, blessing the water. And so it was quite interesting, powerful, and what a magical experience, and something that I would never ever have expected, nor could even thought at, or even would happen again. But it comes back to that having patience. Maybe that day didn't go the day that you thought it was going to be, and those other things didn't occur. But good things happen to those who wait, and something else transformed, which was even more better than a picture or a few-minute video blog. That was more powerful. And something I would also go to say, well, it's ichigo ichi-e, once in a lifetime meeting and opportunity, and so that was a blessing. What was even more interesting is there were signs that probably that was happening that day spiritually, because early in the morning as I was walking up the mountain, I got stopped quite abruptly in front of me by this lady, and she was taking pictures, and I was thinking, why? It was really weird, and of a sort of a path that kind of didn't have steps, but had a few pieces of some wood that was sort of carved a little bit, but just going, that was really odd. I'm not sure why she's taking pictures of that, and why she just kind of almost blocked me from going anywhere. But later that day, that was early in the morning at 11 in the morning, and then later that day at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, as it was getting dark, I realised why, because that's the path we ended up walking up, and to where we need to go. So it's like, okay, somebody was showing me that day that something else was happening or something else was transforming. What was also beautiful was the very next day I went, okay, because, you know, I'm a positive person, I've got a lot of drive, I will keep having a go, or at least trying. I got up even earlier the next day, and was all ready to get out the door, spend my 2 hours getting up there. Got up there, you know, a few hours earlier, not much, but it makes a difference. Found a perfect plot. Was it quiet? Yes, it was. But would the words come out? No, not in your life. It was kind of a little bit jumbled. I sort of got partly something, and then I couldn't quite get the next one to happen, and it was just, I don't know, just not happening. But in that same moment, somebody else came up and approached me and said a few words, and I could only speak a little bit of English, but a few words, and probably more than what I had the day before. And then he had a conch shell too, and I looked at it, went, oh, the Yamabushi conch shell, and he went, yes, I am Yamabushi, and I'm a monk, and I'm from another mountain. And then he not only showed me his conch shell, but he had another one with him, and he had one from Tibet too. Like, so he had his one from here, that's from Japan, and also another one from another Tibetan country too, that a mountain that he's been on. And he also had his son, who had another conch shell, who he was trying to, as he was saying, a beginner, to get him to sort of learn some of the stuff. And not only did I get to listen to him play those, but I also got to sit in that presence of that energy, and he chanted sutras as well. And I got to go with him for the rest of the morning. And so we all went together down the mountain to each little shrine and place that he stops at, and he did a ceremony doing the conch shell. And sometimes he had both of them would be going, but then also he'd take out his other one, and there would also be some sort of chanting of sutras or rituals that he would do. So it was very magical. And what was also magical, at the very last stop, we also, after he did a ceremony which was a bit longer and more, because it was a very special area, he also sat in meditation, and we all sat together in a meditation, which was again another amazing experience. And so you look at these little kind of gifts and blessings, and you just go, okay, well, maybe the day, like in your life, the day didn't go the way you planned, but the patience and something else transformed, which was more powerful, beautiful, and a much bigger and better experience than you could have hoped for, could have wished for. And it comes back to, you know, good things happen to those who wait. So patience is a good thing. It also something that comes up in the system of Reiki from the deeper inner sort of teachings as, you know, patience. And even today, like, I absolutely 100% guarantee the moment I stop this, people will be gone. But it's somehow I'm a beacon for, like, what's quiet, what's off-beaten road that nobody wants. They want it when I want it. So I guarantee it'll be quiet after this. But that's maybe sometimes a lesson for me. Sometimes just not let it stop you, not let it distract you, and be patient. And it will happen whenever it happens. And timing is none of your business. It's from another part of a spiritual sense. So I'd love to hear your journeys in Japan, or maybe the lessons you learned around patience. Put a comment below. Peace to you all, and keep shining your light. Arigato gozaimasu.